And yes, another theme that's come up with coronavirus is the whole question of fact. What is fact, and particularly how can we make decisions based on very incomplete sense of fact, incomplete information? There's a real challenge there, because most of businesses are based on the idea that we're supposed to know the answers without question, and that we are the absolute authority. Any decisions we make are going to be correct. But how can we do that when we don't have the facts that we need? One of the things about the coronavirus is that there's a lot of things we don't know. We don't know just how it's transmitted. We still don't know half the information. Many of our policies that are around are based on information that's already out of date. And we don't know most of the risks. So what can we do? And particularly as enterprise architects, how can we make this better? Because it's highlighted the problem about incomplete information anyway. What can we trust as fact? A lot of the information that we need is missing anyway. Now what do we do? So we've also got to deal with the fact that sometimes the information we need is being, what's that phrase? Economical with the truth, I think, was one of the phrases that was used a long time ago. So there's some issues here around that we can't make accurate decisions based on incomplete information. So how do we deal with it? The first one is that there's a very real emotional issues here. When people have been required for the whole of their working lives to get things right, then suddenly faced with a situation where they cannot get it right and where people may well die or certainly be harmed if they make the wrong decision, then there's some huge emotional challenges. We've got to face this. We've got to be honest about this. Guilt, for example, is really not helpful. The reality is that we cannot be expected to be exactly correct when the information we're working with is incomplete. There's a very good illustration of how to do it right came out of the Walmart CEO's response to the Hurricane Katrina catastrophe in New Orleans. That he said, this company will rise to the challenge. Do the best you can with the information you have. The company will support you. A lot of you are going to have to make decisions well above your level. Do the best you can. And that's a very good, very honest response. We have to be willing to accept and work with and support people in making decisions in difficult circumstances. One of the greatest challenges here is the problem of, I would use it in a technical sense, the problem of incompetence. Someone who's competent knows what they're doing. Someone who is non-competent doesn't know what they're doing. The most dangerous person of the lot is the person who believes they know what they're doing when they don't. Those are the people who get us very deeply into trouble and cause enormous disasters, but still believe that they know exactly what they're doing. So we need to treasure our non-competence. We need to work with and accept that we are not competent and do it anyway, knowing that we are not competent to do this. And accepting our job then is to learn how to do it better with those circumstances. Now there are tools that can help. I mean, one of the tools that I produce is called SCAN. Helps us map out what the uncertainties are and how much time we've got to reduce some at least of the uncertainty to something resembling known or knowable. And before we get down to the point where we're going to hit panic. How to deal with deep uncertainty, we need vision, we need support at the emotional level and the principles level, the guidelines to help us in deep uncertainty when we're making decisions in real time. So these matter a lot. We need to have those ready. Now, as enterprise architects and business architects, we need to make sure those things are in place to help people as best we can during periods of deep uncertainty. So those are the challenges. How do we help people get the right decisions or good enough decisions rather than trying to fix everything in ways that we can't, because especially when we simply don't have time. That's our challenge. How can we help people make the right decisions under conditions of deep uncertainty?